Alrighty, guys. What's up? What's up? What's up? We got Christian. We're back. What is this, episode five now?
Is it
We're
is
at
it six?
six. I don't know who's counting.
Clearly not us.
Let's see. What's today? Today is Saturday, October 30th. There's still a lot of games going on today. Early NBA season. Anything you've seen so far, Christian?
Man, I've seen a lot. Um, Honestly, there's definitely some teams that pop off that start off the season really well, such as Golden State. Obviously, Utah. We knew they were going to be formidable this year. Most of their players returning back, and Chicago. Honestly, has probably been my biggest surprise in the association.
Chicago Bulls, huh? 5-1. To me, I feel like this isn't a surprise because I feel like you're really high on them in the offseason.
I was high, but 5-1 is 5-1. I was high. Like, um, I just, man, I didn't know what to expect. I just figured they would figure it out. But now seeing what it looks like, Caruso to me was, I didn't know what he will look like outside of Vogel's system and playing alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And
Yeah.
he to me is jumping off the tape. Like they had a player, like we really had a player in Caruso. So I think he's really been the deciding factor for me, seeing how he's able to be utilized. And you saw him lock up the other night to seal the game. Final possession, and he went out there and he went and got it. So Chicago's definitely been my surprise a little bit with how good they've looked. Um,
So with Chicago, right? Like you said, going back to the numbers, like they're 17th in points per game, but somehow they're only allowing they're third in opponents' points per game. Not what we expected. We expected an offensive team
a
go out there,
hundred
hit
percent.
threes, and right now they're playing defense.
They're playing defense right now.
Right now in the East, you got four teams, 5-1: the Knicks, Bulls, Wizards, and Heat. Um, for me, I mean, the biggest surprise is Washington. But when you say those four teams at the same time, you look down, you got Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Atlanta hasn't hit a groove yet. Uh, so out of all these teams that actually stay in this top four, I think Miami has the best shot so far.
Miami looks nice. Miami
They
look
and
they look
it's
complete.
once it's
Mhm.
yeah, it's they know each other's roles. You got Spolstra, just it's an oil machine, dude, and you just added the only guy they really added like big time was a veteran, Kyle Lowry. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So game plan wise, they're on it early in the year. I can see them sustaining this through the season, especially because with the new rules, they play tough, man. Like Jimmy Butler, uh, Bam even can play tough, so it's not really affecting them as much as other teams.
I feel like I agree with what you're saying, but I feel like we gotta shed some light on Tyler Hero. This man, I'm not sure if you've been fully paying attention, but he's been balling
Yeah, off the bench,
off the
which
bench.
is it's because they decided to start him last year, right?
Mhm.
And you're like, all right, like he had a good bubble run, but I don't know, he didn't look up to speed next year. You know what I mean? And it could just been sophomore thing, but then you bring him back to the bench, and all of a sudden he's just hitting shots like left and right.
I
He's
mean,
in the right position.
in 6 games, he's averaging 22 points in 31 minutes, shooting 46% from the floor and 40% from three. I mean, he's balling. He's
Yeah,
absolutely balling right. And I think he got tired of people talking about, he got hot, at the right time. And I'm not gonna lie, like he was going through it. Like people was putting through it on a social media, talking about he was overrated. Like you didn't trade this guy for Harden, yada yada yada. And it looks like he took it personal, man. He's locked in.
yeah, he looks good, man. I like the Heat stay there. Anything in the West that you've seen so far?
No,
No,
no, not really.
so
West to me is just a fog right now. It's just really a fog. It's a combination of rust. It's early in the season. I will say this. I've been watching Dallas lately. Luca's defense is absolutely awful.
Mhm.
It is like alarmingly terrible. At this point, I see them once again being like a seventh, eighth seed. Um, it's just I don't know. I just want to throw it out there how bad his defenses look. It's pretty disappointing because it really looks like it's just lack of effort. I mean,
Yeah.
offensively, it looks like he's getting off to a little bit of a slow start. He's averaging about 22 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 7 assists. But obviously, he's probably playing himself back into shape. But my goodness, he's almost leading the league in turnovers at 4.5. And the effort defensively, I was just a little surprised that that's how his effort looked with the new head coach being
That's what I
Jason
was gonna
Kidd.
say. Like, it's kind of disappointing if you're a Mavericks fan because you did let go of Carlisle. There was a rift there, and you bring in Jason Kidd. You give kind of everything over to Luca, but at the same time, you'd hope that in return you're getting more effort on both ends, commitment to not complain about every call, and you're just not getting that if Dallas right now.
Absolutely. And I referenced Luca because Damian Lillard, people have been talking about he's been struggling, shooting the ball. He's averaging under 20 points per game and about 7.5 assists with really bad efficiency. But I see his effort defensively now for the first time in years. I
Mhm.
can clearly see Chauncey's imprint on this team. And they're really trying to get their feet under them with their defensive system. They're 3-2 now, and they look good. But seeing Dame um, pay a lot more attention on the defensive side of the ball, to me, I saw Chauncey's influence off the bat. And I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be seeing over there in Dallas. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, with Luca and Jake Kidd. So Portland, I might have been sleeping on them. If Dame is gonna be out there looking like giving that type of effort, might have to throw them up some slots.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Overall, the West is, I mean, Golden State looks really good. Utah's just destroying everybody.
Oh my
Um,
god.
they're
But
running
think
through
about it,
teams,
as they
but
as they should though. Who they have?
continuity. Yeah,
Continuity, man. I'm telling you, they're gonna jump out once again, and they're gonna be right there.
yeah. Minnesota kind of feels like Washington to me, but you kind of can have uh, more confidence because Anthony Edwards and Cat, and if Russell's on it, then you're gonna have a chance most nights.
Absolutely,
In
Anthony
this,
Edwards.
yeah,
Yeah,
this West, no, I'm just like in this West, like there's not really many juggernauts.
no, no. Utah's gonna get out to a rip roaring start, but Anthony Edwards is a dog. Oh my goodness, he's something special. Oh,
Anthony,
mhm.
I'm like Anthony Edwards, man. He just like is not afraid of any moment. And this guy's
No.
coming out here. He's what, the second year he's put up 25,
Oh,
8, 3.5. Like,
he gonna
no.
drop 50 this year. He gonna drop 50.
Yeah, he definitely will. They let him get his.
Oh my goodness, he's got that type of. And what I like is he's not a bad defensive player. The IQ is starting to get better. Athletically, he can play defense. He was a football player. So he's
Hmm.
not one of these dudes out here that's going to be okay with his guy just absolutely like demolishing him offensively. He's not that kind of guy. He's going to dig in. Like he, man, it's going to be exciting to see Ant in the next couple years because he's really going to be a two way player.
Yeah, in the next couple of years, what do you hope to see if you're a Minnesota fan? You want Anthony Edwards to continue defensively to be locked in, but also
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, he's taken 10 three attempts right now. That's good in today's league, and he's hitting 3.8. Like, so he's a little bit under 37%, but for a second year player, that's what you like. And then the problem is field goal percentage at like what I think is 41%.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just finishing at the rim more consistently, and hopefully that technique will catch up with the athleticism on
Mm-hmm.
finishing. But yeah, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
promise there.
If you're a Minnesota fan, it's definitely a good sign. Him and Carl together, it's nice.
Yeah. Well, anybody else you like right now?
Charlotte, I wonder will they be able to keep up? You know, They look really good. Miles Bridges looks really good. You can tell he's motivated. He's trying to get that paper. You know what I'm saying? He turned down a contract extension. He was like, no, 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 no. I want that 100 mil. And he's balling. Miles Bridges is balling out there in Charlotte. So Kelly Oubre has been a nice spark for them this season. I don't know what's going on. I know Golden State's like, where was this at for us last year? Because he can hit open looks now. So
And Charlotte's been fun. 4-2. LaMelo was playing really well to start out till this last game, right?
yeah.
But Charlotte, they're really fun.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Miles Bridges at 25 and a half points and 8 rebounds a game. He oh my, I didn't know he had this offensive repertoire. I was unaware. Did you know this?
Miles Bridges, what I know about Miles Bridges before this was, man, he could catch some lobs.
That's all I knew. I mean, the man is shooting almost 8 threes a game, making 36% of them. I had no idea. I mean, he's 88% from the free throw line. Like, I didn't know about this. He's averaging almost 2 steals a game right now. Like, this guy is absolutely balling. If he keeps playing like this, which I believe he will, he's definitely going to run away with most improved player. Last year, he was 12.7 points. He's doubling up himself from last year.
Miles Bridges, what's not fun about this, if you're a Charlotte fan, is just like you said though, he just turned down this contract. So, I mean, hoping it's early in the season, but if you're Charlotte, you don't have a history of retaining these guys, and he's coming up in what his contract. Yeah, this is his fourth season,
Yeah,
so
he got to get
he got
paid.
to he got to get paid, and you got to make a decision quick, Charlotte, before it gets too late.
I'm gonna
Because
tell you.
I'm like, what, Lamelo, dude, he makes the game fun, and that's what you hope is like these guys believe in him. They got some playmakers. Gordon Hayward can still make, he can make plays off the bounce. You can shoot a little bit. So, but you got to lock up Miles Bridges.
You gotta lock him up. You can't have that lob there get away. And at the end of the day, they'll take care of it. Lamelo and him are cool. They're boys. Like, I'm not worried about it. He's gonna ball out. He's gonna get paid.
Yeah, he'll get it. He'll get the bag. They all do. If it's not Charlotte, he'll get it somewhere else.
For sure.
No problems. Let's see. What about Sacramento? Can we talk about Sacramento a little bit?
I know you want to talk about Sacramento real quick. I'm gonna let you talk about Sacramento.
Yeah, Sacramento Kings. They're 3-2, six right now. And I'm watching this team, and you just got Harrison Barnes playing better than he's ever looked. You got Buddy Hield knocking down shots. De'Aaron Fox, his shot looks pretty, dude. Like it wasn't. He's hit some shots before, but it's never looked as pure as it does right now. I don't know if it's because
Uh-huh.
it's a lefty and he's
Uh-huh.
I don't know if he's a lefty and he's just playing tricks with me, but yeah, his shot looks nice. And
I
then
think he might just be coming around because I've been trying to let you know that Fox that dude, and you've been over here talking about.
well, if I'm okay, you're opening up a whole nother can of worms here. If I'm Sacramento, when I watch Tyrese Halliburton,
Okay.
I'm like, oh, this guy, he just plays winning basketball, man. He's steady. He's a
What is
starting point guard. Like, and if you're Sacramento, you need a piece like bigger than De'Aaron because historically in the NBA, unless you're Stephen Curry or Isaiah Thomas, the little guy isn't going to win the title, right? So if you could go out there and swing him for Ben Simmons or something like that, why not? You're Sacramento. Make what do you got to lose?
I don't like that trade for them. I don't think we've seen enough from Tyrese. I think he's super nice, and I love all the things that you said. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind just keeping. I would establish that backcourt. I would have Fox and Halliburton absolutely grow together as a tandem. Let them play off of each other. It looks like their games don't really impact the other one in a negative way. They can play alongside each other and wait
That's
for
I'm
what?
like that's all Halliburton though. That's why because he's one of those guys that just he's easy to play with.
Okay, so what happens? You go get Ben Simmons. Fox is gone.
Mm-hmm. And now you got. I'm
Uh-huh.
not saying okay. So if let's say they do a Ben Simmons trade, right?
Okay. Because their
Uh,
team is nice right now, by the way. They're like, if you look at their roster, they got talent. This isn't like if you get Ben Simmons over here, what do you have?
they what you have is a potential 5-star guy, and right now you don't really have that on your roster.
Is there another
And
conference that they're going to, or are they staying in the West?
we just
Because
talked about how the West is a fog.
oh, it's a fog right now. Hold on, wait a minute. You, my guy. The West is foggy right now, 6 games in, but we got MVPs over here. The Joker ain't going nowhere. Jamal Murray gonna come back. Kawhi Leonard is gonna come back. You still got Portland upstairs with McCollum and Lillard. You got Golden State. I'm looking around, and right now, I would just have Tyrese. Who knows? Tyrese in 2 years or another year from now could take off, and Ben might not even be worth it. Like, you might be able to trade Fox for someone else that you can picture Tyrese with for the long run. But right now, you got Rashawn Holmes, Buddy Hield, Halliburton, Fox. Did I say Holmes yet?
Yeah,
Rashawn,
Rashawn Holmes.
I'm like, you bring Ben Simmons. One thing you're not getting is shooting. Like, what do you like? Ben is nice, but we got to relax here. For the first time in a long time, Sacramento actually has a team. They're actually rolling out a team like that. First of all, this team could be any team on most nights. They're talented. The problem in Sacramento is their coach.
Luke Walton doesn't help anything.
Luke Walton, I would love to see this roster with another coach because they got talent. Harrison Barnes looks nice.
They're not that talented, bro.
You're
Like
not that
overall, because in the regular season, like depth wins, and they're not deep.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is there anybody in their starting lineup that's not a starter?
Let's see. So what lineups they rolling out? They're rolling out Fox, Halliburton. Uh, who's starting at center? Is it Tristan?
I don't believe Tristan starts.
Is it Metu? Let's, I think I might have found one. All right.
Okay, you know what? Wait, relax. Who do they have starting at center?
Right
It's
now.
Holmes. Yeah, they paid him. Rashawn Holmes is yeah, he's averaging 15 points and 10 rebounds right now.
Yeah, it's
I think
Rashawn.
yeah, he's balling right now.
Yeah, fair enough. I was tripping.
No, I was no because you asked me that question. I was like, didn't I say Holmes? And then I started like second guessing myself. I'm like, wait a minute. I know they got Alex Len on this roster. They still got and they got that Mitchell kid who looks amazing. He looks really good defensively.
Yeah, but he's a 0 on offense right now, which is fine. You have enough
Yep.
offense at the guard, but
You got more than enough offense at the guard. You got Mo Harkless. I mean, he's just there to be there. You feel me? Like,
yeah,
you know, he's long and whatnot. He's 3-and-D guy. But I'm looking at this roster. This is not a terrible roster. They could be almost any team on any given night. And if you get Ben Simmons on this team, I just need to find out, are they a 10th seed instead of being a 12th seed in your mind? Like, what improvement do you get with this 5-star player you speak of with Ben Simmons if you trade Fox?
this is what
Where
it
are
is,
you
all
going?
right? It's it's
Talk to
it's
me.
the it's the NBA, bro. It's the NBA,
Okay.
and you can have all
Uh-huh.
the nice pieces you want, but unless you have one of those 5-star guys you talk about in the West, you got uh, Mitchell, Curry, Cat, Luca,
Uh-huh.
Jokic. Like I haven't even said the Laker guys. So
No, but you better not because none of these guys belong in the same breath with Ben Simmons. That's my problem. None of these dudes is on. Ben is not on that level.
currently, yeah. But what I'm saying is you're Sacramento, and I don't know what other chance you got to get a 5-star guy. I talk glowingly about Tyrese, but I don't see him being a superstar.
The only problem that I have, if this is as good as the Aaron Fox gets going forward, I have
Mm-hmm.
no problem with your experiment. Because I think at the end of the day, this would be an absolute experiment. The problem would be if De'Aaron keeps improving, we don't know how good this guy's gonna get. And in two
Yeah,
seasons, you might be looking back on this if you're Sacramento. That would be my only problem because Fox has steadily improved. Like you're talking like he's in his sixth, seventh season already. We already know if you look at his seasons, bro, this guy's getting better and better and better and better and better. And no one can guard the guy. He's the fastest guy in the league with the ball in his hands. Like he's like, I don't know. For Ben Simmons, I think right now you think you win the trade, but if Ben goes somewhere, I mean, if De'Aaron Fox goes somewhere, if you put De'Aaron Fox right now in Philly, they're a threat. If you put De'Aaron Fox in Philly, that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be replacing nothing with something. Because if you're Philly, you have no choice. Like, well, they do. They're holding
they
firm.
they
It's going to be weird. Ben's getting in playing there again. It's going to happen. I didn't
so
think
you think
so. Now
you think he ends up playing
he's going to have to, right? At some point. If
right?
you got 4 years
It's
or something, like, yeah,
it
no.
sounds like everybody named Mama moonwalking right now. He said mentally he's not ready to play, but he went apologized from the sounds of it, in the reports. He was like, hey guys, like my bad, y'all dissed me, but let's be professional. Okay, that's fine. You want to suit up? Nah, I ain't, I ain't there just yet. I'm not about to come and play just yet, but I just want to clear the air. So I don't know what they're doing right now.
I don't know. Philly, it's almost no fun anymore.
No, honestly, it's really not. It's
All right.
really not.
How about John Morant, man? This guy
Oh my
coming out of the
goodness.
gates and he's impressed. This team comes out, Dylan Brooks, not in the lineup, of course, broken hand. And John Morant is pretty much taken on more of the load and has been even more efficient. And what's crazy is this team's offensive rating is equal as last year's, right? And you don't have
Mhm.
Dylan Brooks in there. Jaren Jackson looks good, of course. Like, so the team's a little better around him, but he's up to scoring from 19 to 30. He's improved in 3-point shooting and field goal percentage right now. He looks like the game is slowed down and he's just explosive.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I got two things to say about John Morant. First things first, the biggest problem for the league was that he beat Steph Curry in a playing game. That's a problem. Because I'm gonna tell you this right now. After last year's season, he came out, he said he was a top five point guard. This man's confidence is an all-time high. Like at the
Yeah,
end of the day, when you look at the rosters of Golden State and you look at Memphis last year, he straight up went in Steph's house and beat that guy. Like he's coming, like he's coming. I'm really excited to see where he goes this season.
no, John Morant's gonna. It's crazy, man. He's so last year I think he was around like 27 percent usage rating. He's up to 32, which is pretty much where you're gonna find your Hardens and Jokic's, the elites of the elites now. And he's been efficient across the board. So he's gonna be a problem for sure. And like you said, he's got that kind of it factor. When you watch Dame, when you watch some of these guys in the crunch time, like you kind of have that little bit of fear but confidence in them. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's one of those guys for sure.
No, his athleticism. He has an opportunity to end up being the best point guard in the league.
There's a lot of talent at the point guard position, and but he has the chance for sure.
Well, he's the best athlete out of all of them.
He's the best athlete out of all of them. Yeah, I guess
Who
so. Huh?
you at the point guard position? It ain't even close.
Yeah,
I mean, you
because
got
I'm like
Russ, but
contenders is not Russ ain't on Jaws level anymore.
well, we were talking athletically.
I am too. Yeah, Jaws he's got the explosive. Like there's a difference. Westbrook's still explosive, but it don't look like that anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I 100% agree. I was just saying, like, he'd be like the second most athletic point guard in the league. It would be Russ, and then after that, there's a huge drop off in athleticism at that position. So I feel like he got a one up on a lot of
So,
these point guards with that athleticism.
mhm.
That definitely helps.
His change of direction pay and his like man. Remember when he was playing the Lakers and he was driving down the middle and he just did that like Derrick Rose like crossover to the
Oh my
left,
goodness.
like on a dime. I was like, oh yeah, how do you stop that? You can't.
No, you really can't stop him. I remember that one time too. He went to the paint and he laid it up. Anthony Davis just standing there looking at him. I remember that possession too. It happened a few times. Zero contest, but that's none of my business. I'm sorry. That was, I don't know, like that performance. Like he has some moments and he looked really good, but I just saw way too many Olays under the paint, like under the rim. People
Yeah,
wasn't even coming over and contesting these layups, bro. They wasn't even coming over.
give it time, Laker fans. Give it time. They'll be. You need to get healthy, but you got
We
a
got to
good
get
stretch.
healthy.
You got a good stretch of your Lakers right now. I think your next. Let's see, you got Houston twice, then OKC again, and then what, like Charlotte,
Oh, a
and
phone call was made for sure. This is the easiest 15 opening schedule I've ever seen in NBA history. This is
yeah.
the easiest schedule in the league.
So we are gonna be looking back, going into Miami November 10th on ESPN, and we're gonna be like, man, Lakers started out nothing, and they've just rattled off 6 straight wins. Like,
I mean, you heard Vogel. Vogel said it the other night. He said, at the end of the day, guys, we're one bad half away from having a 4 game winning streak.
mhm.
So, I mean, as it feels like the sky is falling, with these games. But at the end of the day, like we're 3-3. It's not terrible. People
No,
forget that Miami started 9-8 their first 17 games.
do you think Carmelo could keep this up?
This man is balling at Staples. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Carmelo Anthony joins LeBron. They're both what 30. Well, I think LeBron's 36,
Yeah,
but
he's turning 37 in December.
Yeah, Melo's already 37. He is. I think he's second in the league in like catch and shoot threes right now.
He's second in a lot of categories right now regarding shooting. Man is an absolute flamethrower.
Melo. The thing with him is he plays zero defense.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Plays
I was
zero
excited.
defense,
I
man.
knew we had a pod today. And I was like, I'm gonna come in here and I have to get this off my chest. Melo better have made those threes because his defense single-handedly gave up about 12 points. I'm gonna need that, Melo. I'm gonna need all them threes. 6 for 8. It needed to be 8 of 8 with the effort that I saw. If you go back and look at the tape, every single time it was his assignment to come over to the paint and and give Cleveland credit. The coach saw it. He kept
Mm,
running the same play where the help had to come from Carmelo's side of the floor. It had to come from his side. And they pick and roll us, pick and roll us, pick and roll us. And they did it when Dwight was at the 5. They did it when AD was at the 5. And in both situations, guess who was at the 4?
Carmelo.
Carmelo. This man's defense is so bad. He better keep, first of all, if he's not playing like this offensively, he's not getting minutes.
Yeah,
He can't get minutes.
yeah. I think if you're Lakers, what you like is he understands that, and we hope Vogel does. All right, that's what you're worried about in LA right now. It's
Oh my gosh.
it's Vogel, bro. Like right now, these lineups are suspect, and it's tough because he wants to play defense. Like, and you got guys like Melo getting 30 minutes. Uh, Westbrook has not looked good defensively so far, and that's why I'm saying just wait. You're gonna get healthy. You're gonna get THT back. None. It's gonna help on the perimeter. We need to figure out a way to sign Bradley though.
I'm gonna
Put him in the
need
lineup.
I'm gonna need Miss Bus to reach down and sign that and get that checkbook out and pay that 7 million extra in luxury taxes because Avery Bradley is a starter on this team. He needs to be
Mhm.
starting. It's evident. He's our best 3 point shooter and he's our best perimeter defender, and it's not even close.
Yeah, you need to throw him in there. I think there's a lineup that's floating around right now. It's like that the Lakers ran with, and they were like plus 24, and it was by far their best defensive lineup too. I think it was Bradley, Bazemore, LeBron Davis, and Howard. I want to say,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and they're just dominating in those minutes because you have a team playing defense Oh, and then you have LeBron and Davis.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought AD at the five? Who would have guessed?
No, I think Howard's on the lineup.
Oh, Howard. Well, oh my gosh, Howard has been a breath of fresh air. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Mhm.
Just seeing his IQ defensively, man, I'm like, after watching Marc Gasol last year and Andre Drummond, to see Dwight directing shit on the defensive end is just so nice. By the way, crazy thought, but we're just potting right now. I want to throw this out there. Do you believe Dwight can hit threes in a game? This stroke
He
was
just
nice.
did.
No, if you look at his free throws, even the way he's shooting, I have no problem this man shoots a three. I bet you he beats Anthony Davis in 3-point contest in practice. I would bet you.
This is the thing with Dwight though, right? It's like I forgot what podcast he was on, but he said like I hit my free throws in practice. It's like you just hope that he's comfortable in the game to continue to do it.
I'm so proud of the guy. Like for him to be in like season 16, season 17, you can tell like he actually works on his game. Like you can go on YouTube and see this man shooting mid-range jumpers. His free throws, he's fixed.
The
He's
bank
fixed
shot
his
used to be a shot.
the bank shot used to be a shot. And then he realized he said, I was like too close on the line. I gotta be further back from the line. He got the touch right. He's so strong. He had
Yeah.
to get the right distance from that line down. But this man's shooting stroke, man, his threes look better than Davis, bro.
I don't know. I like Davis
I don't
shot.
want him. I don't. You said what?
I like the way Davis shot looks. Like he's got good arc on it, good touch, soft.
I love the way it
Like
looks. I just don't want the result.
he can hit shots.
He can't shoot, bro. He can't shoot. He can't shoot threes.
I mean, you're comparing him to Dwight Howard right now.
I'm telling you right now, if somehow if we could be a fly on the wall in El Segundo and they did a 3-point contest, I would low key put money. Dwight Howard would beat Anthony Davis. I'm telling you, this is the same Dwight Howard that was known back in Orlando for shooting half court shots and it was going in. And you and I was talking a decade ago, like how are you swishing these half court shots that you can't hit free throws? I'm telling you, Dwight could always shoot, bro. I bet you in practice he's mopping Davis at the 3-point line. I bet. Now the mid range, I'm not gonna respect them. I'm not gonna disrespect the bro like that. I know he's at the mid range on lock in practice, but the 3-point line, I got my money on Dwight. Have you seen how good his shot looks? How soft the ball is when it goes in? Sheesh.
I'm
He's a
telling you right
dog,
now,
though.
Dwight
Talk to me.
in practice, maybe. But if there's, I don't want him shooting threes in the game, bro.
No. I'm with LeBron. LeBron told him before the season started, you're allowed to take 1 3 for every 2 blocks you give us. You can take a 3, but I need 2 blocks from you. So I remember he posted it on Twitter, and Dwight was like, LeBron just told me I can shoot a 3, guys, but I need 2 blocks. I need 2 blocks, and I got the green light. So man, I just love that. I just love that, man, in the locker room that because Dwight, I'm sure sees he's over here practicing these jumpers, and he's like, you know what? I'll let you have it, but we got to have the game in hand, and I need 2 blocks before I want to see any of it. Because when he was in Atlanta, bro, and he was in Charlotte, bro, this man was bringing the ball to the floor. Like, he didn't give a fuck. He was bringing the ball. Bro, he was wilding out. It's just good to see how much he's like reined it in. Like when you get in a culture, you know what I'm saying?
No,
It's,
100%.
it's nice to see.
It really happened when he came back to LA. Like he
Yeah.
turned his career around, man. Because when you're on your like fourth team in 4 years, like you don't have much longer usually.
He might have been on 6 and like 5. It
He was everywhere.
it was bad. He got traded to one team, and I don't even think he got off the plane. It was like they waived him already. I was like, yo, what? He didn't even step foot in the city.
Hey, speaking of wave, speaking of cut, can we cut DeAndre Jordan?
Okay. Talk. Get it off your chest. Get it off your chest. No, this is a free space.
I'm just saying, like DeAndre Jordan, bro. Like this man, for 3 years now, this man has been done. Like if you go back to Dallas, he didn't have it. I'm talking Dallas, bro, not Brooklyn. Like in Dallas, this man didn't have it. Now he's in LA and he's starting. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? He's not doing anything. He's up.
He looks so bad out there. He looks
Defensively,
terrible. He looks absolutely terrible. The
defensively,
offense,
he's just a walking freaking Olay, like you talk about.
you sent me a text the other night. You said, bro, no, when he screams, no one's even guarding. He's not even useful as a screener anymore. But this is, at the end of the day, Scott, I 1,000% agree with most of what you're saying. How I
I
envisioned
don't want to hear
the
it. I don't want to hear
offseason
it.
signing was he was not going to be getting burned in the regular season. I did not picture him getting this much burn. He wasn't going to play if it was up to me. I was talking, we end up matching up against Jokic or one of these bigger teams. AD, for whatever reason, he's in street clothes. We start Dwight. We need someone as a back. I'm talking like in limited minutes in a role where you're able to game plan and let him watch tape in the series, get Rondo out there, and you're like, look, we just need you 3 minutes to give us X, Y, and Z. I'm talking like that, very specific. But in the regular season, this man has no business getting any burn because in the pick and roll in today's game, he's not reacting fast enough. He looks lost. He looks clueless. Offensively, if you roll him, Davis, LeBron, Westbrook, and Bazemore out there, do you know how that's the worst lineup potentially offensively in the league? I watched that lineup. LeBron can't even get, he can't get to the paint. LeBron literally cannot get to the paint. He can't step foot in the paint. We saw it the other night. He
You talk
finally
you talk
couldn't
about
hit a three.
this. Oh yeah, no,
Uh-huh.
he couldn't hit anything.
Yeah, finally, and it got really exposed for the casuals that have been watching our starting unit. The only
Mm.
reason why it's looked halfway decent is because LeBron thought he was the second coming of Steph Curry and he was shooting 50% from three. But when he's not hitting perimeter shots with that lineup, you can absolutely see how it hurts me. And you know what's funny? Every time the start of the second quarter or when DeAndre leaves, you see a 17-3 run, 22-5. You see it at like clockwork.
DeAndre Jordan, bro, you're talking about the screens. Like I'm watching when it's a Westbrook, DeAndre Jordan setting the pick for him. We get zero. I want to see the second spectrum. I don't see us ever getting points off those, dude. Ever. And it's because you have two guys now, both defenders, when it's Westbrook and DJ, just drop.
No,
And
that's
now
it. That's it. That's
there's a
literally
drop
it.
and the play's
Just drop.
dead. The
It's
play's dead. I can't believe, bro. I can't believe this man is starting for the Lakers, and it's because of
like
AD.
like I said, if we could just be a fly on the wall in El Segundo at the practice facility when they watch tape, what are they talking about in session and film set? What are you guys talking about? What the fuck are you guys talking about? Do you know how glaringly obvious it is that DeAndre has no business playing? Do you understand how obvious it is? If you're Anthony Davis, how are you sitting there with 14 of your woes and you just gonna have a straight face and act like you need to be playing the four, even though your shot looks broker than Dwight's? Like you can't even hit shots. The four position in today's game, you have to be able to shoot consistently if you're going to play the four. He's a good shooter for a five, not for a four.
Yeah, no, he's not. I don't
He's
know.
not Joel Embiid.
He
He's
needs
not the
just.
Joker.
It's
Get your
disappointing.
ass to the fuck. It's disappointing because if you watch Russ is sacrificing. Did you see how LeBron controlled the tempo to close that game out? How
Yeah,
beautiful those possessions looked.
I'm
Westbrook,
like. By
uh-huh.
the way, I was about to text you right before this man clocked in or checked in. I think it was like 3 minutes left in the fourth. I was like, notice who's not in the lineup right now. Like
No, I don't. No, you knew not to text because I was going to tell you he's coming in like right now, bro.
he
He's
literally
coming.
did, and I deleted it. But I was like, we got all the way down to three. Like,
No, it's good, but when he's out there though, I love it because you still have an athlete. If you got to crash a board, it was a close game, and he's way off in the corner, bro. He's way off in the corner. it's not even a discussion who the ball is going to be in the hands of, and I love that. It's not even a discussion. It's going to be LeBron AD pick and roll. Davis talked about it after the game. He said, "I love having Carmelo in that corner late games when Braun and I do the pick and roll because like you got a guy he ready." Like
Yeah.
you look at him and he already get the shooting stroke going. Like he just wants to, as soon as he touches it, he's gonna shoot. He ain't passing
Yeah.
it back to Braun. Braun, no.
Mm.
If I pass this ball to Melo, I've seen him look Melo off 90 times. He's like, no, it's too early in the shot clock. Because if I throw this to that motherfucker over there, he gonna shoot this ball, bro. And he comes back to him with like 3 seconds on the shot clock. He knows if I pass it, I'm not getting it back. And it's so refreshing to have a dude finally in the purple and gold that when you pass them the fucking ball, they're not gonna hesitate and play a hot potato. They know what to do with it, bro. You ain't gonna tell Melo twice, bro. You ain't gonna tell him. Oh man, it's lovely. LeBron and Westbrook in transition, the 3 buckets that they had, you're starting to see a vision. There's spurts in these games where I'm like, when we get healthy, we're gonna wreak the havoc I thought we are gonna wreak. You cannot stop Russ and LeBron in transition. You can't stop it. It's literally not fair. You have to foul them as soon as you turn the ball over. You have to foul because if you let them run, it might be the most dangerous dynamic duo running the floor in the game. It's disgustingly unfair, especially if you got LeBron playing the 4 and you have Davis at the 5. The matchup problems you have. Oh, they did it on 3 different plays. I'm like, you're starting to see it. And every time, guess who's on the floor? DeAndre.
Yeah,
DeAndre is
DeAndre's never
not
on the
on the
floor.
floor. He's on the floor.
I'll give Westbrook this, man. This is if you're the Lakers, this is I guess this is what you envision when you brought him in, right? Is because he really did kind of give the Lakers the win, in my opinion. I think it was at like 8 minutes or something like that. He had like a 3 minute spurt where it could have gone either way. Like
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland had been sticking in the game the whole time, just kind of hanging in there, even though the Lakers playing sloppy. And so if a team like that gets hot, and you had your Mobley going off, they could have stretched that lead out to 10 or something like that. And Westbrook came down and he got a lane, dude. He finally got a lane because, like you said, DJ's not on the floor, and he's able to get towards the basket and actually hit a wide open guy for a dunk. Came down, got a layup, came down again, and like drove again, and he was just able to get into the paint like 4 or 5 times in a row and make something happen. And so that was
Came to
that was
uh-huh.
nice for Westbrook because that's something we weren't seeing from him. We were just seeing only the bad stuff, pretty much.
100%. And even on one of those plays, he he penetrated to the rim and he missed it. It was a soft touch. It hung on the rim long enough for a hungry Bradley to run in here and put it back. I don't think people are aware how much attention Russ causes when he touches the paint. As soon as he touches the paint, everybody's head is turned to him.
Mm-hmm.
Athletically, he's still a problem. You have to account for him. He can't shoot or anything, but he's just too good of an athlete and a passer when he penetrates the middle of the paint like that. Now you got people cutting. You got Davis coming over. You got shooters getting open. You're turning the heads of players.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's head was turning when Schroeder penetrated last year. No one's head was turning to get an easier lane or anything. It's really nice to see. And it happens once again, like you said it, when DeAndre's not on the floor. I don't know how Dwight's able to do it. Maybe because he was an elite center for so many years. I don't know how he's able to play so well with Anthony Davis and not crowd the spacing. Like we can always say, oh, the dunker spot, but there's an
Okay.
art to when to go to the dunker spot. It's a science, and somehow AD is able to operate with Dwight on the floor with no problem. But when you see DeAndre out there, there's like 15 motherfuckers in the paint, and I'm like, bro, there's
Christian,
only
the
one.
man can't move. Like I'll tell you. Like honestly,
Man.
bro, like Dwight can move. Like
Oh my.
DJ,
I thought it was maybe like a feel to the game, but maybe just this is bad, man. Like I said, I don't know what those film sessions are looking like. I don't know how Davis can sit there with a straight face and start at the four each game.
I think that's why AD got in between them, dude.
Have you no shame? Like, have you no shame, AD, in these film sessions? You don't feel bad for Russ that when he dribbles, there's 20 people in the paint. LeBron is taking the half court shots because he can't touch them. Like Davis, Anthony Marshawn Davis, have you no shame? Everyone on Twitter, everyone is saying you gotta play the five, and you're just sitting in these film
He
sessions
said it.
like
He said he was gonna do it. He said he's
he
gonna. That's
came
all.
out and said he said it. He said he was gonna sacrifice. How are you sacrificing when I look at the box score and there's 26 other minutes being
Nah, this man
divided
goes.
between Howard and Jordan? There's only 48 minutes in the game. You're playing 40 minutes. So you're playing like 70% of the time at the four. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And we haven't even gotten to the lack of effort defensively. He takes multiple plays off defensively. He don't look hungry. This does not look like the same defender I saw when he first came to LA. It doesn't look like it. And everyone jumped on Dwight for that little scuffle they had. Dwight was probably telling Davis, he's like, motherfucker, rotate. He probably told him something. Because Dwight's defensive IQ is one of the greatest, not Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is trying to win defensive player for the last 3 seasons. Guess what? When Dwight was trying to win that award, he won it.
Mhm.
He won it. He wasn't trying to be defensive player of the year. He's got 3 of them. He was probably saying something to Anthony, bro, and Anthony probably clapped back. I'm like,
Yep.
mhm.
No, no, 100. I was just agreeing with you.
It's a funny dynamic, man. It's a really funny dynamic. But I'm gonna need Anthony to get it in check.
Speaking of funny dynamics, you want to talk about this all-time 75 list? I think
Yeah.
it's a funny dynamic here.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Hey, all right. Full transparency. I understand if you're the NBA, you can't like just leave, you know, these guys from the 50s off. You know, I'm talking about
You're talking about the dudes that was born in 1939.
the Hal Greers, the Paul Arizons. Like, sorry, guys. Dave DeBuscher's on there. This man averaged 16 points for his career, shot 43%. He's was the fourth best player on the title team. Like, not even, he was winning All Stars, but it's just a different time.
Well, there's like 300 less players in the league at the same time. He was winning these All Stars. He was getting these All Star nods.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I understand if you're the NBA, you have to do it. But I fucking hate these lists because it's not the best 75 players to ever play the game. It's just
Mhm.
not. And
It's
so
not even
it's
the
like,
best 75 careers.
no, yeah, that's the other thing. Like, we're including all these 50s guys, right? Like from the 50s, 60s. You don't even have George Mikan on there, who's like the OG superstar. He,
Mhm.
unlike these other guys, he at least gave you 27 to 29 points per game a couple years. Like,
Exactly.
you got guys with 16, like 15. Like, so even like you had to realize what George Mikan, that's because he's the first one. That one's too old. Like, come on, man. It's just a different game. I remember I was watching the 1973 finals, right? It was like game 7. I sent you the video, bro. It was
Oh
the
my gosh.
it was the Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain Lakers versus, the Bill Russell Celtics. And the game is you're just like, it doesn't look anything the same. They're just running up and down, and it looks like some YMCA run, honestly. So
It
I,
it
I don't
looked
know.
pretty bad.
I don't know why we do these lists if that's what we're gonna do. You got guys like Dwight Howard, like you were talking about, didn't make this team. Klay Thompson didn't make this team. Manu Ginobili, like, but we got Dolph Shays and Bill Sharman.
I don't even know who these dudes are.
Like you gotta hit the basketball reference on some of these guys, and you're just like, oh, that's it. Like,
No, and that's the like if you're gonna put these dudes on here, like if you're gonna put a Wilt on there, because even though I feel like to me that's a different era, at least when I go to basketball reference, this dude's averaging 30, 25, 15, 19, 18, and 49. Like
mhm.
I can tell his dominance in his era. But when you go to some of these other Joes and you see 16.7 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, and 3.4 assists, I'm like, what is the criteria? Half these dudes are dead. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, no offense. We can't
Here's
give the dudes who are alive some roses?
yeah, no, and it's like this. Here's how you could tell there's a distinct difference. These guys today, right? We're at record paces where we haven't seen this rate of pace since what, like the 60s. That's the
Yeah.
decade that always comes up. But how many guys average 20 points a game today, right?
Oh my
And I
goodness.
and then you go back then and you don't have anybody doing it. Like this, the skill level is just an all-time difference.
No,
Athleticism, all-time difference.
it's pretty ridiculous. For the people at home, I know you're familiar with the resume, but I feel like it'd be criminal for us not to touch on some of these accomplishments with some of these quote unquote snubs. Klay
All right.
Thompson, obviously, three-time NBA champion. He's a five-time All-Star, two-time All-NBA, one-time All-Defense, and he does have the record for the most threes in one game with 14. We know what he represents. You can't tell the story of basketball without mentioning Klay Thompson because of the Warriors dynasty in their run. You can't tell the story without his name. Manu Ginobili, a foreign player, by the way, which I've personally felt the NBA did a very poor job of implementing foreign players. Manu Ginobili is a four-time NBA champion, six-time six-man of the year, one-time six-man of the year, my fault, two-time All-Star, and a two-time All-NBA player. Tracy McGrady is a two-time scoring champion, seven-time All-Star, seven-time All-NBA, Basketball Hall of Fame first ballot, and most improved player. One of at least 17 players to have at least two scoring titles. Vince Carter, eight-time All-Star, two-time All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, Slam Dunk champion. Tony Parker. Tony Parker.
Four-time
I'm
NBA
a,
champ, four-time All NBA. He was all rookie team. He's got a Finals MVP, six All Stars on his resume, and then you had years uh, like from 2011 to like 2014 where he was a legit like
he was a
top
top five
level
point
point
guard.
guard
He was a
in
top five point
the
guard
one of the deepest eras for point guards ever.
ever. And then to the biggest snub, Dwight Howard, eight-time NBA All-Star, five-time All-NBA first team, one-time All-NBA second team, two-time All-NBA third team, eight. My fault. I'm sorry. He's a four-team All-NBA defensive team. He's a five-time rebounding leader, a two-time blocks leader. I don't understand what the justification was for leaving him off. If you look at his accolades compared to Anthony Davis, he's better in every single category. They're both eight-time All-Stars. Anthony Davis is a four-time All-NBA. Dwight's an eight-time All-NBA. AD is a four-time All-Defensive player. Dwight's a five-time All-Defensive player. One guy wants Defensive Player of the Year. Dwight has three of them. Like,
I think this is what happened with Dwight, and it's a shame. These voters should be ashamed of themselves for this
they really
because
should.
from 2015 to 2019, if you just take those years out of his career, or like if he retired after 2014, he makes this list. I guarantee it. But the situation from 2015 to 2019 just ruined this guy's reputation, honestly, around the league. And I guess they were around the media too, because there's no reason this man should not be on the list.
It's honestly so sad. This might be the biggest stain in NBA history when it comes to the association. I feel like it's one of the better ran leagues, but this is so bad. I like this is worse than him being snubbed maybe for a first ballot Hall of Fame. This is worse because he can always get in. They don't do
Hmm.
these lists that often.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
just
he's
absolute.
gonna make the top 100 like in 25 years. He's gonna be like, well, I should have been on last time.
Hopefully, he's still here. Like that to me is why it hits so personally because the whole point of this, it's an honor to be able to be alive and get your roses when you're here. And obviously, Dwight is a top 75 player, and he's also got. If you talk about resume, he's probably somewhere. He's probably top 40. Only 26 players have more All NBA teams than Dwight, and they're all on the list. Half of
Hmm.
those dudes were pre-merger, so there's only like 12 dudes who have more All NBA selections. And man, it's crazy. I feel for Dwight, but I, whew,
The other
man,
guy that I thought is justly criminal was Clay Thompson, bro. I think it's criminal this man's not on that list. I know he doesn't his resume doesn't quite stack up to Dwight's as far as individual accomplishments, but when you talk about like the perfect complementary player, he there's no one better than Clay Thompson, dude. He's elite defensively on the perimeter, and he's got size where he can guard twos and threes even. Uh, this guy is all-time sniper. I'm talking like the only guy better than him in history could be his teammate. You know what I mean? Uh, Five-time All-Star. They went to the finals. Like what? How many? 4 out of 5 years, pretty much.
4 to 5 years.
Yeah,
You, you know
three-time
what's
NBA
crazy?
champ. He's
Uh-huh.
got big moments. Like, come on, he's got Game 6. OKC is going to go down as the Clay Thompson game, and it's going to be remembered as one of the all-time games.
And think about who participated in that game. Steph's a top 75 player. Russ is a
Mm-hmm.
top 75 player. Kevin Durant is a top 75 player. Out of
Mm-hmm.
those three players, that game, he was the best player on the floor.
Yeah, and he's the guy that scored 30 points in like 5 minutes. Like
What's the
he's the guy that catches fire, dude.
I saw him being left off the list. Um,
Kevin
if
Durant's
he
fault.
never if he never got hurt, I would understand him. He should have still made it. But if he never got hurt, I can see them overlooking him. The fact that he got hurt and we know what the Warriors look like since, I don't know how they justify leaving him off that list. I don't know how they justified that. That's not all Kevin Durant leaving. Don't get it twisted. The Warriors, we saw what they looked like without Clay Thompson. They were boo boo. That was, to me, that's why I was surprised. Like, you can take dudes for granted while they're winning and be like, oh, well, we'll do. But like to see how far they dropped, what they basically said was, we're going to give all that to KD. That's because KD left,
Mm-hmm.
which is criminal to me. Because Clay's value to me should be at an all-time high after the season they just had last year. Now,
Yeah.
if Steph pops and they win 57 games last year with no KD or Clay, sorry, Clay. Like I would understand why, but they don't even make the playoffs. Oh no, oh no, this is criminal.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't know what these guys. I don't know. It's just ridiculous to me that these everyone like that came before. I don't know. Like the game evolves. Deal with it, people.
Deal with it. Deal with it. Damian Lillard, by the way, also was Damian Lillard making this list was nuts.
Yeah, like I love Dame, man, and
I love Dame too.
I
Dame
would say
Dollar.
he is a top 75 player all time. But for their criteria, it doesn't. I don't know. How do you put him over
No,
Dwight? How do you
no.
how do you put him over
You,
Clay
you,
even?
I could tell the story of the NBA without mentioning Damian Lillard's name. No offense to Dame, but he ain't there yet. You play in Portland. I could literally tell the story of the league, and I can omit your name, and no one would even say anything.
Yeah, he's an all-time talent, man. But they haven't won on that level where he's that relevant to make that list over some of the
Yeah,
guys.
and let's be honest. I mean, maybe if he was having these seasons in New York, and he constantly has like, if you take his career and put him in New York, and he's a Knick, I would understand maybe him making this list. You revive the franchise, you
Apparently, look
know.
at Dave DeBuscher.
The,
That's
those
like
names, and Reggie Miller, by the way, you want to talk about getting in because you work for the NBA. If that's not the employee discount, he's all-time employee discount. Because if he did not work for Turner Sports and if he did not do work for the NBA, Reggie Miller is not on this list, bro.
he's got a cool documentary, man. Come on.
He's got, his sister was a better player than he was. Cheryl Miller, bro. She scored 100 points in a game. Reggie Miller got no business being on this list, bro. Spike Lee could have made an appearance on this list at that point.
It's Riverside's second finest, man.
Oh my God. They really put that man on there. I saw Reggie Miller's name and I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Reggie Miller. Okay. Okay. Oh man.
Reggie's another one of those guys. A lot like these Lakers, just living off reputation, you know. Spike
That's
Lee
it.
had a moment. He got a cool 30 for 30. He'll forever be on that list now.
Oh my God. That was the crazy one for me. I saw Reggie's name. I'm like, y'all put Reggie Miller on this list, but left out Klay Thompson. Really? That's what we doing? That's what we doing. That's crazy.
Ginobili, I know it's an NBA list, but Ginobili could be on there for his Argentina run against USA by itself.
Ginobili should be on. Without Ginobili, we have no redeem team. Ginobili is why we had a team named the Redeem Team. And if you were those guys, you couldn't say no to Team USA. You had to redeem the name. Like, that's because of him.
And he's, if we're just going NBA, like who sacrificed in their career more than Ginobili?
Oh
I don't
my
know.
God. Greg Popovich said it. He said if this man played for any other team, he would have scoring titles. He could lead the league in scoring.
2-time All NBA, 2-time All Star, but a 4-time champ, and just clutch. Just clutch can be, and one of the most creative players you've ever seen play.
But you know what? You gotta thank your boy Pop for this. That man should have been a starter. It's the dumbest thing in NBA history that he wasn't a starter.
You really don't like the six man, do you?
No, because I found out what it was. Gilbert Arenas really shed light on what the six man actually is. That doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're on the floor in the closing minutes, what are you doing but suppressing someone's value in the open market? Because if you look at his history, six men don't sign $100 million contracts. So you're basically setting the market for that role, even though they're on the floor when you need them most. No one gives a fuck about the first 6 minutes of a game. You're just getting conditioning. 6 minutes is costing you 30, $25 million when it comes to negotiations at the end of the year. Let that sink in. But you could be winning the game with game winners, clutch free throw. But the dude that we don't even know who they're starting to is, we don't even know who he is. He's a starter? Why? Like, it doesn't make sense, bro. It's dumb. Especially when they're the best at something. Like Lou Will, we know this man should have been starting on several teams. Like, who do you know how deep you have to be for Manu Ginobili to be coming off the bench? How deep is your team for Manu to have to come off the bench? Really?
So
Really?
it's all about money.
It's smart, bro. It's so smart. If you're an organization, it's a cheat code. It's like to beat the luxury tax. You throw their ass in that six-man role. Because guess what you can't do? You cannot name me one $100 million six man.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't do it.
Hey,
You tell
anything
me, uh-huh.
anything Gilbert Arenas says about money, I'm believing. This guy was
No,
getting paid like $60 million after his career. Like,
you feel me? If there's anyone that we should be listening to regarding finances, it's that man. Like, I thought about it and I was like, holy shit. Because think about it. If you look at the Warriors, how deep were they? Guess who wasn't coming off the bench? Klay motherfucking Thompson. He ain't coming off the bench. Y'all got him fucked up. He's not coming
mhm.
off the bench. There's been way deeper teams, and these fools are not coming off the bench.
Iguodala got paid anyways.
Yeah, there you go. He had already, because he was once the guy, so he had made his money. But if you look at some of these contracts that these people are signing, Duncan Robinson signed for 5 years and 90 million. You're telling me that Lou Williams in his prime was not $100 million player? He clearly was. Schroeder was going to get paid like really big money. It's criminal, bro. Jamal Crawford could have had 100 million. You're just literally suppressing the open market for these talents because no one is a six man if then ends up a starter. If you're a six man, guess what typically happens? You're a
What?
six man.
Yeah.
Once you win that trophy, you ain't getting no starting lineup.
What about
Uh-huh.
like a J.R. Smith? J.R. Smith wins it with the Knicks, ends up going starting, winning a title in Cleveland.
You got to play with Bron Bron. Bron
This
Bron would
guy,
have had Lou. Bron Bron would have had Lou Williams start. Bron Bron is not going to have no dude that can shoot like that coming off the bench, bro. You're starting with Bron Bron. He needs shooters.
yeah.
Lou Will would have been the starting lineup with LeBron, bro.
With Kyrie too.
He's got Kyrie. Lou Will is a little small. How you do that? Yeah, fuck it. For sure, at least in the finals, bro. What? Think about some of the dudes they had out there in those lineups. Bro, you tell me you throw out, I'm talking prime. You throw Kyrie out there, you throw Jamal Crawford out there, you got LeBron James, who Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson. You got to match Golden State's firepower somehow.
Williams answer.
Oh my, Lou is a bucket. Going to his right, shit.
He's a bucket, but
He's a bucket.
he's an all-time bad playoff guy.
All-time bad player. I tell you one thing, that Clipper team got more wins off Golden State than LeBron did. Lou will
LeBron.
pop, bro. Lou
Well,
will
speaking of
snap.
J.R. Smith, he kind of screwed that over, did he?
Okay. You're right. I'll give you that one. So okay, even then, they got two. They both got two games. But Lou Will was snapping against Golden State. They had no answer for that man. He was hotter than fish grease. It was stupid. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the six man, but Greg Popovich, you got to take that one on the chin with Manu Ginobili because if that man's a starter in those lineups, he would have had a much better shot getting on that list if he's a starter.
Yeah, these. I don't know. It's a shame, but good for Paul
Manu.
Horizon and his family. You know.
He said in his family. So good for the survived buys. You know, that's what half that list was.
Yeah, I mean, I get it if you're the NBA, but I just hate these lists because
I
there's
don't get it.
yeah,
I
there's
don't
no
get
point
it.
to it.
Fuck it. I say you say fuck it, and y'all just come out and be like, look, we cutting this shit in half. That's
Like,
one storybook of the association. We got volumes. All right. Volume 2. Can we get on volume 2?
how do you fuck up if you're in the NBA too? Like for the 50, you got like pretty much everybody there, and I know the 75 list, you're not going to get everybody there, but how do you not get at least 50 of those guys and like and announce it like that? You know, All-Star Weekend or something like they did in the 90s.
100%. Well, another thing I thought was criminal was somehow when did they do this list? They did it what in 95 or like in 92?
I mean, it
No,
would
it
have
was
been
96.
25 years ago, no?
Yeah, so it was in 96 because I think
Yeah.
Shaq was in his like fourth season or whatever. How are you telling me y'all have 50 players from the start of the league to 96, but the talent from 96 to now, y'all didn't have more than 25 players? So that's all they added. That
Mhm.
somehow from 96 to 2022 or 21, you guys only grabbed 25. Y'all giving way too much credit to the 60s, fam. Y'all need to wake up. There was some of those dudes that made that list, let this sink in. There were 8 teams in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly. And half of them were white.
Half of them were white.
Like,
Oh
so
man. That's crazy.
sports back then just this doesn't touch today's game.
No, it really doesn't. And we're not saying that all those dudes would have been like absolutely trash. You know, but I can tell you
Oh,
this.
sure, man. Give him some Nikes, you know, like Dave Hopla, get with them in the gym.
Dave Hoffler, I haven't heard
And
that name in a
they,
minute.
bro, yeah, some of these guys for sure would get it, but some of them won't. All right.
Do you think Wilt could have averaged 20 and 10 in the 90s?
Not playing like the bro, the guy didn't even care about free throws. He
He did. You sent me the footage, and this man is like throwing the ball at the rim. Like he
he
didn't give a fuck, bro.
But he looks like if you're in your driveway and you have one of those baskets and you're trying to like throw a lob to yourself off the backboard. That's what he looked like he was trying to do. I was like, come on, man. Like, you don't even, what is this?
I had a friend send me some footage of him like running like really fast and whatnot, and I was like, I mean, he's gonna look that fast when these dudes are no taller than his hip. It's just like I was seeing like one of my no, this is a true story. One of my friends sent me some footage of Wilt that resurfaced, and it showed him taking like fall away bank shots, and I was like, bro, I would take fall away bank shots too if my competition was 4'11", like in reference to my height. Like that's not saying anything. Wilt's not taking fall away bank shots if Hakeem Olajuwon is guarding him. I can guarantee you that's probably not his repertoire.
The man's not averaging 20. All right. Ain't nobody wearing a maxi pad on their head averaging 20 in the 90s.
Oh my god. Okay.
Wilt's done, dude.
I'll put it like this. I think he could have averaged like 13 rebounds in the 90s. I think he could have been an absolute monster rebound.
The thing with
He ain't winning no scoring title in the 90s.
yeah, but he got all those rebounding numbers because if you watch the game, dude, they just run like full sprint, like jack up a shot and they brick it. And who's there 2 feet taller is Will every time. Like when you have that many possessions and that bad of shooting, you're gonna get some rebounds.
No, you're right. Because if you look at the percentages, them dudes were not 50, 40, 90 kind of guys. Bro, you're shooting like 33% from the floor. Bro, you're bricklaying. You're
Yeah.
literally bricklaying.
So his numbers don't count, in my opinion.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Excuse me. It really bothers me when I see them put up highest scoring totals in a game, and they
Mhm.
have the audacity to have Kobe Bean Bryant with number two in front of him. We all know the most points scored in an NBA game is 81. It's not 100. There's no footage of what Wilt did. Let
Who's
that
a
sink
guard
in.
doing it, man?
There's no footage. He's
That's
7 foot, and dudes are 5'9" on the floor with him. There's doctors out there. There's lawyers out there playing against Wilt. And we saw Kobe Bryant in 2006 score 81 points in a game. That's not taking a back seat to any other scoring night in the history of the association.
for sure. Like the fact that he's a guard doing it, like it's easily the greatest scoring output ever.
It might honestly be the most spectacular thing in sports.
That's if you're an
Because
NBA
football
fan, that's a good
football is
one.
already discredited because if a quarterback throws, someone has to catch. So
Mhm.
it's already disqualified. Kobe's getting all those buckets by himself.
Man, I feel it's hard because for an individual moment, maybe, but there are just some guys like that moment, like Michael Phelps, like Olympic run. You know what I mean? Like that was a whole moment in itself.
Oh, I mean, okay.
But
I didn't know he was gonna bring up Aquaman. I didn't know he was gonna do that. I didn't know he was gonna go Aquaman. If you're gonna man, this is a whole other
because
pod, low key. We're gonna have to do like greatest athletes of all time. So I'm gonna save some of my comments because we might have to end up doing one of those. We got to do one of those.
fair enough, fair enough. Well, yeah, it was a hell of an accomplishment, and for sure the number one scoring output in NBA history.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on that, man?
Nah, man, well, like we did a pretty good run there.
Yeah, yeah. Got anything coming up? Let's see when should we do our next pod? Get there like next week, hopefully.
Yeah,
Maybe next Saturday.
I'm done. Yeah, I could do next Saturday. Is there something coming up that we should wait? Is there a game on the schedule?
Let's take a look at the schedule. Let's go. Saturday, Sunday. Let's see. To October 30th. That's right now. I think. Nothing that's, I mean, so early in the season, dude. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. We'll definitely be doing a pause sometime next week.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys taking a listen. Talk to you soon.